What's up, guys? It is your annoying, upbeat, happy, positive personal trainer that ignores all things negative and political on Facebook. Welcome to this week's vlog. This week's vlog is not going to be about fitness. It's actually an upbeat, awesome, amazing story that I witnessed this weekend that I just had to share with you guys, because I'm sure if you're on social media, as always, it seems like lately, there's a lot of people arguing, talking about negative things. I just want to bring you guys positive energy, positive stuff that's going to brighten up your day. And this is a story that happened over the weekend, something I witnessed. I got to meet a little 8-year-old autistic girl who just made my day over the weekend. So I want to tell you that story. Hopefully it'll brighten your day. Last weekend, if you guys follow me on Facebook, you already know this, but we had archery tournament. We had over 800 kids from 3 states come into our town and compete in biggest archery tournament in Illinois next to our state competition. For those of you that don't know much about archery, most of these kids don't hunt, never will hunt. It's just a sport. It's a wonderful sport for kids of all athletic abilities. And what I love about archery is even the kids who may not be able to play basketball or volleyball or any other school sport, but they want that sense of community, that they want to learn about good sportsmanship and hard work and practice and achieving goals and all those wonderful things sports teach kids. The kids who aren't athletic can get involved in archery and be very athletic and oftentimes excel more than some kids who are athletic, which is a really cool thing. So in the world of archery, it doesn't matter whether you're athletic or not athletic. You can excel if you practice and put in the work. So this weekend was our big tournament, and which my daughter won. And I'm only saying that because she watches these, and I'm very proud of her. But this story is not about her. This story is about this little autistic girl. So in our tournament, our very last line had a team come in that wasn't really school affiliated. I think it was more of a park district type team. They only brought 5 kids, all girls, and 2 of the girls were autistic. One was this little 8-year-old girl that I wanted to tell you a story about because she touched everybody that was there, I'm sure. I'm not sure if anybody has a video of this. If you do, let me know. It was awesome. So I was line judge, and just making sure kids are following the rules, being safe, all those types of things. And the coach comes up to me, before we start and says, hey, sometimes she gets really frustrated. My dog's talking. Sometimes she gets really frustrated and she will just leave in the middle of a tournament. And she just, doesn't know a whole lot about what she's doing, so you might have to help her with scoring and all those types of things. So I made sure to stay close to her. I'm going to encourage her, and I don't know how much was getting through because she wasn't making a whole lot of eye contact with me, but she gave me a couple high fives, which was awesome. But anyway, she starts shooting, and in archery, you have a practice end, and an end is 5 arrows. You have a practice end at 10 meters, and then 3 ends, scoring ends at 10 meters. And then you move back, which is harder, and you shoot a practice end from 15 and 3 ends from 15. So the little girl gets up, and she shoots her practice end at 10, or 3 ends at 10, and she did okay. I mean, she's kind of all over the place, but she was hitting the target at least. And it looked like she was having fun. We move them back to 15 meters. She does her practice end. I think she may have hit the target once or twice. She was, arrows were hitting the net behind the target. Arrows were skipping off the floor. I could tell she was extremely agitated. She's scrunching her nose, throwing her bow in the rack. She was starting to get mad and frustrated. And I was just praying that she wasn't going to cry and leave the tournament in the middle of it. So she gets through her practice end, and she moves back, or starts her scoring end, and fires her first 4 arrows, and some of those missed and some of those hit, but they were, barely hit the target if they hit the target. And she gets to her 5th arrow, and she starts to put it in, and she drops it. And what the kids are supposed to do when they drop the arrow is raise their hand. They're not supposed to bend over because that can be very dangerous, because these kids are shooting side by side, 20 to 30 kids at a time shooting. So we don't ever want the kids to bend over and pick up an arrow. And she does exactly what she's supposed to do. She drops her arrow and she raises her hand. Her coach didn't have an extra arrow, so he had to run out of the range. Well, while he was getting another arrow, all the kids finished. And that left just this poor little girl on the line all by herself in front of all these people watching just her. And I was instantly afraid for her. I was afraid of the pressure. I was afraid that if she missed, how is she going to handle that? Is she going to run out? And is that going to totally upset her and break her down? But her coach came in, gave her the arrow, and this little angel pulled it back, fired it in a big arc, and hit a bullseye. And every parent, everybody that was there watching, erupted in cheers and clapping, and this little girl covered her mouth and was jumping up and down and was so excited. It like made her day just to hit that bullseye in front of all these people. And we ran up to her target, and I bet she told me 20 times that she hit a bullseye. And you could just tell how that was one of the greatest things that had ever happened to her. And she said, I want to go. She said, well, you go tell my dad. Tell my dad I hit a bullseye. And I said, no, sweetie, you've got to tell your dad. Your dad will want to hear that from you. So she ran back and told her dad she hit a bullseye. Just the joy and excitement on her face was so amazing. And it just kind of reaffirmed why I love the sport so much, because there's not many places that autistic girl can go to experience that kind of thing, to work hard at something, to achieve a goal, to feel good about herself, to participate with other kids. The other amazing thing about that story was there was an older girl shooting next to her, and the older girl, it was definitely distracting because the autistic girl would take longer than normal to shoot, and the older girl was so good at helping this girl. And afterwards I went up to the older girl and I said, you did amazing. I know that wasn't the best conditions for you to shoot in, but thank you so much for being so kind to that little girl. And the bigger girl said, it was my pleasure. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, and I had a lot of fun helping her. And I just thought that was so wonderful. It was just an awesome day, not only because my daughter placed first, that was amazing, but seeing that autistic girl shoot a 10 was one of the coolest things I've witnessed, and watching the parents, erupt in cheers for her, and also witnessing the sportsmanship of the older girl who, was not shooting in ideal conditions, but she didn't care about that. She didn't care that, sometimes the bow may have been falling over in her path, and she had to reset. And she didn't care that she had to take extra time to help this little girl score. She just loved helping that little girl, and it touched my heart. So in the wake of all this negativity going on Facebook, I just wanted to share that story with you, because if you open your eyes and look for it, there's a lot of good going on in the world. All right, love you guys. Have a great week.